Before I do anything, I want to give reverence and honor to the most honorable prophet, Elijah of Christ, my higher self, for all the knowledge and for sparking my mind and enlightening me to what truth and what reality really is. Now, as y'all already know, Chief has given us 5 sciences for us to understand reality, for us to understand God and what God is. We have 5 sciences. If you don't know, you feel me? I know y'all been following along for a while, but the 5 sciences are astrology, biology, quantum physics, melanin, and grounding. Now, in order for you to understand a lot of the things that we say, because somebody hit me up yesterday and was like, I want to follow along with the information, that you guys are putting out. And that's great because people are tapping into the information, right? This is the Christ consciousness. Chief is the messenger of that information. And this is the time for you to have access to that knowledge, for you to cross over to or enter the flame of life, right? So somebody asked me, they said, I want to get further into the information. So in order for you to understand the information that, Chief has taught us and what we teach, I feel as though the first thing that you need to do is watch this video that Chief put us onto a while back. It's called the Holographic Disclosure, right? It's a series. I'm going to post it. You better see the video, but it's a series on page on YouTube called The Secret Activator. It's called the Holographic Disclosure, but it's the holographic universe video essentially. And this video literally shows you objectively how reality works, right? We go through all of the stuff that we go through in our daily reality. We got issues and problems, all type of stuff, things that we see, things that we're doing, things that we're smelling, hearing, everything that's taking place. This video is going to break down to you and show you how reality actually works. Peace, Astro. You feel me? So it's called the Holographic Universe. When you hear it and look, this is going to help you because everybody's so fixed on life being physical and this is a real reality. While we do have to be aware of the physical part of this reality and know what it is and understand it to the detail, we still have to understand that all is mind. That's the first law of the universe. All is mental, the law of mentalism. So this video is good. This video gonna help you. So when you hear it say stuff like the external world is the internal world, there is no external world. Oh, life is a projection of your astrological program, or phrases like I love myself, or life is a mirror, or things like everything is being experienced inside of your mind. You're not experiencing nothing outside of you. Everything is inside your mind. This video about to literally break it down. So if you didn't understand why I was saying what I was saying, or if you listened to one of Chief videos and thought to yourself, then why is he saying this? This video about to show you. You said you've been reading the 12 Laws of the Universe by Mandar Heap Singh. Oh, okay, I never heard of that author or that book, but that's what's up. I don't really be reading too many books, Reflection. I don't really be reading too many books. Like if like if I have to read a book, if that's the only thing I have to entertain myself, like I'll read a book. But for the most part, I really don't be reading books. That's nothing against what you reading. I hope that it's a very interesting book for you and that you learn something. But we are the book. Your DNA is the book. You feel me? Every book that has been written in the whole entire universe, every book that you can find on the internet, inside of the libraries, right? That came from the genetics of the human's DNA, right? And the first human beings on the planet was who? Melanated men and melanated women. Us. So all information comes from within us. And like she teaches us, if you tap into nature, then you can begin to tap into your human nature, and you'll begin to activate certain genes that were silenced and turned off due to being unconscious in your environment. But shout out to you for that book though. I hope you enjoy it. But I'm about to go to the video, y'all. I want to show y'all this video, and if you want to go watch it on your own, that's cool. Go watch it on your own time. But I'm going to be stopping, pausing, and playing the video in between so that I can explain certain things and elaborate on certain things. You feel me? So let's get into it, man. The Holographic Universe, y'all. You're going to go on YouTube. I thought I already typed it in. Yeah, I'm about to say I thought I already typed it in. And if y'all want to come up in the hold on.
Everything experienced is temporary and deceptive. And this.
And if y'all do want to come up in a box and y'all want to be a part of the class or part of the lesson, if y'all want to engage, it's cool. Feel free to do so. But we're about to get into it. Let's go.
Is a shadow seems to be proven by science in our day. In order to better grasp this secret behind matter, let us be reminded of our information about our sense of sight, which provides us with the most extensive information about the external world.
Now look, they said something important already off the top. The first thing he said was, let's take a look at the senses, the eyes. The eyes give us the most extensive version of what's going on in our reality. So they about to show us how do we see. Now, we think that it's funny. Look, we think that we got two eyes, and you got to pay attention to the videos too, because the video will say one thing and it'll show you another thing. But we think that we have two eyes, right? The video even shows that it's two little eyeballs right there. But we're gonna go into it. But we're about to understand how we see objectively, not through a subjective lens, not how we feel, how we think we're seeing everything. We're about to scientifically see and understand how we are able to see through these monitors that we call eyes. Let's check it out.
The act of seeing is realized progressively. At the instance of seeing, light clusters called photons travel from the object to the eye and pass through the eye lens, where they are refracted and focus on the retina at the back of the eye. Here, rays are turned into electrical signals and then transmitted by neurons to the center of vision at the back of the brain. The act of seeing actually takes place in this center in the brain. All the images we view in our lives and all the events we experience are actually experienced in this tiny and dark place. Both the film you are now watching and the boundless landscape you see when you gaze at the horizon actually fit into this place of a few cubic centimeters.
You see that? Okay. So how do we see? And this is good for if you want to ever show somebody how reality works. You want to blow somebody's mind or break their reality. You can show them and teach your people around you how they are actually seeing reality, right? So upon us seeing, right, it says light clusters called photons travel from the object that you are observing to the eye, where those light rays go through the eye to the back of the eye where the retina is. Now, when it gets to the retina, those light rays are transferred into electrical signals by neurons, and it travels through the nerve of the eye. Now, they're going to tell you later on, but the nerve of the eye is called the optical nerve. This is a nerve, a part of your nervous system that connects your eyeball to your brain, which allows the information or the electrical signal that you receive to go to your brain and for your brain to interpret that. Now, they just showed you everything that you see from the landscape in front of you, people, places, and things, everything that you see with these eyes are nothing but an electrical signal being sent through your eye to your brain, and it is being experienced in the back of your brain. You see how small that box is? It's a small box in the back of your brain called the visual cortex. This is where we're experiencing our whole reality in totality, right? Let's keep it going.
Now, let us reconsider this information more carefully. When we say we see, we actually see the effect the rays reaching our eyes form in our brain by being converted into electric signals. When we say we see, we actually observe the electrical signals in our brain. By the way, there is another point that has to be kept in mind. The brain is sealed to light, and its interior is absolutely dark. Therefore, it is never possible for the brain to contact with light itself. We can explain this interesting situation with an example. Let us suppose...
That's a very important part for us to understand, y'all. The brain is encased in darkness, and electrical signals are being received by your senses, but you're never coming into contact with the image itself. Never, because the brain is in darkness. Look at this. Your brain is always in darkness. So how, if your brain is in darkness, are you experiencing a landscape with the sun and the sun rays and everything is lit up in the daytime? How are you experiencing that outside of you if you're experiencing everything in your mind and your brain is encased in darkness? These are things that we have to ask ourselves to unravel what reality is. Let's keep going.
That in front of us there is a burning candle, and we view its light. During this period, when we view the candle's light, the inside of our skull and our brain are in absolute darkness. The light of the candle never illuminates our brain and our center of vision. However, we watch a colorful and bright world inside our dark brain.
You see, they just gave us an example of, hold on.
The same
You see, they just gave us an example of looking at a candle, right? Say if we had a candle lit in front of your face and you're viewing the candle, you may believe, right, that the electrical signals that gives you the candle that your brain is receiving is lighting up the inside of your brain, but it's not. Your brain remains in darkness. But your brain is telling you that there's a candle lit up outside of you. How is this happening, Reflection? These are the questions that help us understand the universe and help us understand ourselves, because in order for you to understand God, in order for you to understand the universe, you must first understand yourself and how you function, because you are the universe. You are a fractal piece of God. And for you to know thyself is for you to know everything else, because we are everything. But this is the foundation of us understanding the holographic nature of our reality. Let's continue into it.
To all our other senses, sound, touch, taste, and smell are all perceived in the brain as electrical signals. Therefore, our brains throughout our lives do not confront the
everything, all of you got more than 5 senses, but let's just say your 5 senses: the sight, taste, touch, hearing, and smelling. These senses, these 5 senses, which give you the most extensive information about your reality. Say if you eat a slice of pizza, you seen a slice of pizza going there, some music going to the person's ear. All of this is being experienced inside your mind. I can sit here right now and eat an apple and think that since I'm looking at my body and I'm looking at the apple, that I'm eating the apple, but I'm not eating the apple. It's taking place inside my brain. Listen.
Original of the matter existing outside us, but rather an electrical copy of it formed inside our brain. It is at this point that we...
I want you to pause for a second and think about how you are experiencing this interaction right now between you and I. Where are you hearing me at? Are you hearing me in the phone, or are you hearing me inside your mind? Think about this. I want you to pause and think. Are you hearing me through the phone, or are you actually hearing me coming through your mind? You're experiencing the audio, the voice, my vocals in your mind. You're not coming into contact with me outside of you. I'm not outside of you. I'm only in your mind. Same as everything else in your reality that you go through with your 5 senses.
Misled by assuming these copies.
But listen, due to our prejudice and our own personal bias, which is our subjectivity, right? Our programming from our environment growing up, we believe that all of this is real. We believe that the material world is a solidified thing and that is real and that this is what life is. But that's due to our bias. And that's why she teaches us that we must become objective. That's why we must follow science. You can think that it's real, but what's real is the electrical signals that your brain is interpreting to give you reality. Let's move forward. Look.
Are instances of real matter outside us.
You see the external world inside of our brain.
These physical facts make us come to an indisputable conclusion. Everything we see, touch, hear, and perceive is matter. The world, or the universe, is only electrical signals in our brain.
You hearing? The world, everything that we perceive is nothing but an electrical signal inside of your brain. That's it. It's a light photon. Light photons are atoms, subatomic particles that are made up out of 99.9% dark matter. None of this is real. You say it's real, but because we interpret the world through electrical signals, doesn't it mean the world? It doesn't mean the world isn't. I'm not understanding what you're saying. It's real, but because we interpret the world, no, because because we think we are interpreting electrical signals from our environment, from our outside environment. We believe that is real, but there's nothing outside of you. Everything is inside your mind. Everything is inside of your mind. Your body is inside of your mind. It's not real. Life is imagination. And we're gonna go further into the video, and the video is going to tell you what I'm going to articulate to you, but I'm gonna let the video show you. And look, I'm gonna tell you too how we are interpreting those electrical signals. And the idea of the world, even the world, what you look at and see as the world is even a program as well, right? When you think of the world, you think of the little globe. Look inside the video. It's a picture of the earth inside of that small box. That's what you think of when you think of the world. That's the image that comes to your mind when you think of the world. But that's only inside of your mind. That too is an illusion. That too is all a part of your imagination. Let's move forward.
For instance, we see a bird in the external world. In reality, this bird is not in the external world, but in our brain. The light particles reflecting from the bird reach our eye, and there they are converted into electrical signals. These signals are transmitted by neurons to the center of vision in the brain. The bird we see is, in fact, the electric signals in our brain. If the sight nerves traveling to the brain were disconnected, the image of the bird would suddenly disappear. In the same manner, the bird sounds we hear are also in our brain. If the nerve traveling from the ear to the brain was disconnected, there would be no sound left. Put simply, the bird...
You see? King Juni, what's good, God? This is important right here. They just gave us an example of us looking at a bird. First off, how do we know? Yo, shout out to King Juni for coming into the live. Peace, God. How you feeling?
King Juni.
Peace to the gods. I'm breaking down this class real quick, so I'm just give me a minute. But this is an important part of the video right here. So they gave us an example of the bird, right? The bird, even the image of a bird. Somebody gave you the program and told you that a bird was a bird. That the noise of a bird was the noise of a bird.
Up for you, just hold for you.
What's that?
All right, well, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he was talking to me. But that's a program as well. Somebody programmed you to believe that the bird was a bird, that the sound of the bird is the noise that a bird makes. Growing up as a kid, you said, Mommy, Daddy, what is that? They said, oh, that's a bird. But they could have easily as well said, hey, that's a fucking dog. But it's all part of the program. And that's what we're going to go in further. When the video goes a little bit deeper, I'm going to show you how your brain is interpreting the electrical signals that you're receiving. But let's move forward. Remember though, if the optical nerve that connects your eye to your brain was to be cut or damaged, you would no longer be able to see. You would be blind. If the audio nerve connected to your ear and your brain was to be disconnected or damaged, you would no longer be able to hear. You would be deaf. But guess what? If you close your ears and close your eyes, you can still hear and see within your mind, right? But your mind is encased in darkness. How is that? How is that possible?
The shape of which we see and the sound of which we hear is nothing but the brain's interpretation of electrical signals. Another point to be considered here is the sense of distance. For example, the distance between you and this screen is nothing but a feeling of space formed in your brain. Also, objects that seem to be very distant in one person's view are actually images clustered at one spot in the brain.
You see distance. Even distance is an illusion. Space is an illusion, right? You can look up the street and see a stop sign up the street. It's not up the street, it's not outside of you. It's actually a collection of particles bunched up in your mind that's giving you the illusion and the image of what you perceive as something distant from you. This is dope. This is dope. This is literally mind-breaking information. These are glitches that'll help you break this motherfucking matrix, which is a mental state of mind that keeps you asleep from what reality really is, which is a dream. You said it's not an illusion. It can be measured by many people. It is an illusion. And the fact that anybody, look, even your measurement or your observation is contingent upon your imagination. It's contingent upon you observing it. That's why we are all different infinite possibilities of the oneness, of the field. And everybody's observation or measurement or perception is different. But it's an illusion still. But we all have our finite egos in order for us to experience this reality. But everything is an illusion. It's showing you right here. You think that everything is outside of you, but everything is in your mind. It's nothing but atoms, subatomic particles. Electrical signals are nothing but subatomic particles. Go study quantum physics and what light is and what consists of light.
For instance, someone who watches the stars in the sky assumes that they are millions of light years away from him. Yet the stars are right inside himself and the center of vision of his brain.
Now you see that? That's an illusion right there. Everybody done bought telescopes and they done showed us NASA and all these astronauts and rockets going up into space and looking into the stars. But this video just objectively shows you that a person viewing and looking up at the stars may think or perceive that the stars are up there. But no, the person is viewing the stars within the center of vision of their mind. As above, so below. All is mental. There's nothing up there. Everything is in here. You see what I'm saying? Life is an illusion reflection. And this for the people that think that you can go to another planet or that you can go to Mars. Oh, let's go to Mars. Oh, they're going to the moon. They're going to Mercury. All of the planets are right here in your mind. Mars is right here on Earth. My nigga, the Earth, like she teaches us, the Earth is an interface for the universes and its many different consciousnesses or planets to interact and experience themselves through. Every planet or different energy meets up on Earth as an interface to experience itself. You can't go to Mars up there because you're experiencing planets and reality inside of your mind. As above, so below. All reality is in your mind, reflection. It's not a misunderstanding of what the video is teaching. I'm helping you break down what the video is teaching. And I'm going to add on to more of what the video isn't saying to you. Look. Just listen. You got a rebuttal and ain't even finished the video.
While you watch this film, you are, in truth, not inside the room you assume yourself to be in. On the contrary, the room is inside you. Your seeing your body makes you think that you are inside of it. However, you must remember that your body, too, is an image formed inside your brain.
You must remember, too, that your body is an image, too, formed inside of your brain. Now tell me that life ain't an illusion, that what you perceive to be reality isn't reality. It isn't an illusion. For instance, when you go to sleep at night, you don't take your body with you. They just told you right here, hey, little monkey, I told you that I was going to be pausing the video frequently throughout the video. So if you wanted to watch it on your own time, go do that. I gave you the disclaimer before I started the footage. But as I continue on, it's showing you. You're sitting in the room. You may be sitting in the car right now. You may be sitting in the room. You may be sitting outside. We may believe because I can look at my body and my hands and my feet, because that's what somebody told me that this was. For all I know, this can be an ear. This could be a leg, but somebody told me that this was a hand. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? It's all an illusion. But the image of me seeing my body makes me believe that I'm inside my body, or that me sitting in the room makes me believe that I'm sitting inside the room. But no, contrary to subjectivity, the room in your body is inside your mind, because life is imagination. Chief teaches us that the only way out of your reality is to go in your imagination. Think about it. How did you get into your reality today? How did you get here today? How did you get here? And how are you going to get out of this reality? You're going to go to sleep. But when you go to sleep, you don't take this body with you. You just take your mind with you. You take your consciousness with you, because that's all you are. Life is mental. Your body is inside your consciousness. The room is inside your consciousness. Don't be deceived. This is factual right here. And I think this video was put out like 18 years ago, man. 18 years ago.
So far, we have been speaking repeatedly of an external world and a world of perceptions formed in our brain, the latter of which is what we see. However, since we can never actually reach the external world, how can we be sure that such a world really exists? Definitely we cannot. The only reality we cope with.
You definitely cannot. How can I think or believe that the external world is real when now I have evidence that my brain never comes into contact with the image that I think that I'm seeing, with the smells that I think I'm smelling? It only exists inside my mind. It's impossible for me to believe that this is real.
Is the world of perceptions
And the only thing that allows us to cope is the subconscious programming that we have been given from birth. That's what our finite egos, that's what allows us to play the game of life. The illusion of separation, the illusion that this is real, that we're not inside of God's mind. And then I'm about to show you, they about to show another scene. I'm going to break down to you how your brain is able to interpret the electrical signals
within our minds. To imagine matter to have an existence outside the mind is indeed a deception. The perceptions we observe may well be coming from an artificial source. It is possible to see this in the mind's eye by an example. First, let us suppose that we could take our brain out of our body and keep it alive in a glass jar. Let us put a computer in which all kinds of information can be recorded. Finally, let us transmit the electrical signals of all the data related to a setting, such as image, sound, and smell, to this computer. Let us connect this computer to the sensory centers in our brain with electrodes and send the pre-recorded data to our brain. As our brain perceives these signals, It will see and live the setting correlated with these. From this computer, we can send to our brain also signals pertaining to our own image. For instance, we can send to our brain the electrical correlates of such senses as sight, hearing, and touch that we perceive while we sit at a desk.
You see that right there? This is what I was talking about. This is a beautiful and amazing example of how this shit works, right? This is us right here. This is you, the brain. We are just a brain. We only consist of a conscience. We are just a mind, right? Like Chief teaches, your brain is a computer. It's a processor for information. Your brain is processing electrical signals to interpret so that you can experience your observation, what you are observing. So you as the brain, as the mind, they have an example right here of them putting a brain inside a box. The box will represent an environment. They put a mind inside of an environment. They grabbed a computer in a desktop, right? These are machines to fuel the program or to project the program to the mind. Now watch this. They put a CD-ROM inside the computer. The CD represents the software of the information, the software, right? The brain represents the hardware. The computer and the monitor represents the hardware. These are devices or technical devices that interpret the software so that it can be experienced. The CD is the software, right? So they put a CD-ROM inside of the computer, and then they hook electrodes or wires up like a nerve, like a nervous system. They hook that up to the brain and put the CD on a certain setting and translated all of that information to the brain. And the brain downloaded that information and lived out and played out the information that was set onto the software of that CD. This is exactly how the human being works. We are being programmed. We are computers. You are being programmed by your environment. Your subconscious mind rules 95% of your environment, right? 95% of your reality. You, as a brain, you're a walking brain. You're a nervous system. Your nervous system is a part of your brain. Your five senses are a part of your nervous system. Your optical nerve is a part of your nervous system. Your auditory nerve is a part of your nervous system, right? All of these things are connected to the nervous system or the brain of your body. Now, the nervous system plays as the wires, right, that pick up the electrical signals from your environment and send them to the brain. This is what's happening. Your nervous system, your senses are picking up the electrical signals from your environment, the information or data from your environment, sending it to your brain, and your brain is interpreting that. Now, how is the brain interpreting this data, right? They showed us earlier an example of us seeing a bird. Okay, but the image of a bird and the title of a bird is also a program. Somebody told you and programmed you to believe that that was a bird. How was your brain able to interpret the electrical signal of a bird and believe that's a bird? Your astrological programming. And this is what they're not going to tell you right here, right? This is what science is not going to tell you. And this is what makes Chief a genius, that he's able to piece it together. And if you look at the context clues in the video, it shows you that the brain is using some type of software to interpret the electrical signals that it is being, that is receiving. We got to understand this. We're just computers. Your software, the software that your settings, that your settings is on, right? How the computer has the CD, right? The CD is set on a certain setting to send those to the brain. Your astrological program represents your settings. If you had a manual that describes you, it will be your astrological programming, right? And your nervous system receives electrical signals from your environment, and your astrological program helps your brain interpret those signals. That's why you can look at the phone and say, oh, this is a phone, because it's a part of your program. You were taught that, oh, this is what a phone looks like. This is what a phone does. This is what a phone is used for. You see what I'm saying?
In that state, our brain would think itself as a businessman sitting in his office. This imagine.
You hear they said you can even send yourself electrical signals that, or in your mind, use your imagination to believe or perceive that you're a businessman sitting at a desk. They're just showing us that life is imagination, and they're going to go further on and show us how life is a dream. It's almost done, y'all. We
world
got
will
like 6
continue as
minutes right
long
here,
as the
but I wanted
stimulations
to
keep coming from the
do this
computer.
video.
We would never realize that we only consist of a brain.
We only consist of a brain.
It is indeed very easy for us to be deceived into believing perceptions without any material correlates to be real. This is just what happens in our dreams. For you, reality is all that can be touched with the hand and seen with the eye. In your dreams, you can also touch with your hand and see with your eye. But in reality, you have neither hand nor eye, nor is there anything that can be touched or seen. Taking what you perceive in your dream to be material realities, you are simply deceived. For example, a person deeply asleep in his bed may see himself in an entirely different world in his dream. He may dream that he is a pilot and command a giant airplane, and even spend a great effort to command the plane. In fact, this person has not taken even one step away from his bed. In his dreams, he may visit different settings and meet with friends, have a chat with them, eat and drink together. It is only when the person awakes from his dream that he realizes all were only perceptions. If we are able to live easily in an unreal world during our dreams, the same thing can equally be true for the.
Now he asks a beautiful question. If we're able to eat, sleep, drink, operate an airplane in our dreams, what make us think that we can't do the same thing in this reality? If you look on the screen right now, they're showing the image of a man sleeping in bed, dreaming about flying an airplane. This is how reality works. I want to ask you again, how did you get here today? Think about that. I want you to reflect on that. Now, I want you to ask yourself, what makes you think that when you woke up from your dream last night, whatever you was doing in your dream last night, what make you think that when you woke up today and you start receiving those electrical stimulus, what made you think that you didn't wake up into another dream that you think is called life and that you live in on earth and all this? What made you think that this is not a dream and that you on right now, you're not dreaming right now. You're not in a dream on Bigo, but you're really in another reality, sleep in bed, dreaming about watching Brother Facts on Bigo speak about knowledge yourself. Somebody gonna watch this video on YouTube later on, and you gotta ask yourself, what make you think that you're not asleep in the bed somewhere else, dreaming that you're listening to this video? You see what I'm saying? All this is happening inside your mind. Life is imagination based. You are imagining everything. Everything. The same thing that you're doing in your dreams, you're doing in this reality. The only difference is, like Chief teaches, this waking reality is more slowed down. It's slower because it's more condensed. We use more energy. We use more thought to formalize this reality. But it's an illusion. It's a dream. This is the world in your dreams. Little Monkey was talking about the world. The world is nothing but a figment of your imagination. You see what I'm saying?
We live in. When we wake up from a dream, there is no logical reason for
See,
not
he
thinking
just said
that we
it.
have entered.
There's no logical reason for you to think that you've entered reality. No, you've entered another dream. We live within a dream infinitely, and we fail to realize that. But you want to know what? I understand, because we are inside of God's mind and we are unconscious right now. We are still asleep. And this is why we hold space for the waking dream and we teach knowledge itself. But when you wake up inside the dream, right, you begin to become aware that, oh shit, I'm everything in the dream. And it's my imagination that's creating all this. I'm thinking everything into existence.
Longer dream that we call real life. The reason we consider our dream to be fancy and the world is real is nothing but a product of our habits and prejudices. This suggests that we may well be awoken from the life on earth, which we think we are living right.
You feel me? And guess what? When you wake up in a dream, you want to go wake up everybody else in the dream. But everybody's not meant to wake up in a dream. But those that are meant to become aware that life is a dream, we're here to go spread that message. We're here to go be repeaters of God's message. You feel me? And to go teach people and awaken people out of their unconscious. You see what I'm saying? And then they go on to this last portion to ask, who is the perceiver? Is it the body? Is it, you feel me? Listen.
Just as we are awoken from a dream.
Who's perceiving the reality?
After all these physical facts arises the question of primary importance. If all physical events that we know are intrinsically perceptions, what about our brain? Since our brain is a matter just like our arms, legs, or any other object, it also must be a perception just like all other objects. An example will illuminate the subject further. Let us think that we extend the nerves reaching our brain and put it outside our head, where we can see it with our eyes. In this case, we would be able to see also our brain and touch it with our fingers. This way, we can understand that our brain is also nothing but a perception formed by the senses of vision and touch.
You feel me? And that last part right there, who is the perceiver? You would think that the brain is the perceiver, but they just went on to show you that scientists could take the brain out of the body and view the brain and touch the brain and observe the brain through the 5 senses. But even that will be electrical signals that that person's brain is receiving. The brain is also a figment of the mind's imagination, and your observation of the brain is nothing but an electrical signal that your brain is interpreting. Somebody taught you that the brain looks like this and this is what a brain is, and that's what your brain is interpreting through your astrological program. Life is not what we think it is. Life is holographic based. This is the holographic nature of our reality. We are quantum computers, fractal quantum computers of the quantum unified field, like my chief teaches, and our software is our astrological program. That's what's allowing our nervous system or brain to interpret the signals that we are receiving from our environment so that we can experience our observation. Go watch that video, y'all. The holographic universe. You feel me? The holographic universe. You can go look at it on the Dream Stream on YouTube, or I Got Facts on my YouTube page. You feel me? That's what it is, man. Reflect the life from the honorable prophet leads you to Christ. Peace to the gods. I love myself.